In this video, we're going to show you the process for wiring an eLERT eLERT system. Before beginning, check your shipment box to verify that you'll have all the necessary hardware components, the customer work order, and additional paperwork, including the eLERT Service Center Manual and any state regulatory forms. Your work order contains all the information you'll need, including the customer's information, vehicle information, eLERT device information, and device usage instructions. The work order will direct you if you are to make horn and light connections on the customer's vehicle. Always check for horn and light instructions, as each state's law differ. Some customers may need to comply with the regulations of a state other than your own. Ensure the information on the work order matches the customer and vehicle at your installation appointment. Before starting the wiring process, access vehicle-specific wiring schematics through your estimating or repair software and have your eLERT Service Center Manual ready. It's best to obtain vehicle-specific wiring information in advance of the customer's arrival at your shop. In most cases, the eLERT installation kit and work order will be provided at least 24 hours before installation, allowing ample time to have vehicle-specific information ready. If you're unable to find the needed schematics, contact eLERT Technical Support at 877-327-9130. Prior to beginning any work on the vehicle, conduct an inspection as detailed in Chapter 3 of the eLERT Service Center Manual. Examine the vehicle interior, exterior, battery, wiring, electronics, starter, horn, and lights. Ensure all are in good working condition. If there are issues with the wiring, horn, lights, battery, or ignition, the customer may need repairs prior to the installation of the eLERT system. Do not conduct any repairs without speaking to the customer. Locate the vehicle's main ignition wiring harness. You may also need access to the car's body control module, BCM, depending on the car's year, make, and model. This is where most of the connections for the eLERT relay will be made to the vehicle. This will require some disassembly of the dash. On some older vehicles, connections may be found under the driver's side dash direct from the key switch, coming down the steering column and wiring harness. This process is similar for eLERT's legacy device and eLERT device. Our latest device, the EZ eLERT, follows a somewhat different wiring protocol. The eLERT device is equipped with a windshield-mounted camera and GPS. eLERT Technical Support can help if you require assistance identifying wires. Reach eLERT Tech Support by calling 877-327-9130. When removing trim panels, be careful not to damage the car's interior. Be especially careful with older vehicles' plastic trim, which may be brittle and delicate. Be cautious of any knee bolster airbags. It is important that wiring is ran behind the airbags and never in front of them. Identify all the wires to ensure proper connections are made and to avoid damage to the vehicle. As you identify each wire, test to ensure proper connections are made and no vehicle components are damaged. When testing, do not use a conventional test light. Use a computer-safe test light, power probe, or digital volt ohmmeter, or DVOM, to ensure there won't be any short circuits or short to grounds. When routing the wires from the eLERT relay, ensure the wires won't be easily kicked or disturbed by the passenger's feet or interfere with operation of the gas or brake pedals. Also make sure the wires cannot become tangled in the steering knuckle or interfere with any switches. Wires can be trimmed to better fit the vehicle if necessary. If you need to extend the eLERT starter wires, use a 12-gauge wire or larger to ensure proper current flow to the starter. If extending wires, make sure to cover the connections in the provided tamper seals. Use the provided posi lock connectors, T-taps, or solder the connections. Do not use Scotch locks or twist and tape wires. When making ground connections, connect to a rust-free, paint-free metal. The eLERT system comes with a self-tapping screw and eyelet to be connected to the vehicle. Place the provided Intoxilock tamper seal stickers on every wiring connection where the Intoxilock relay wiring meets vehicle wiring. These seals have a special backing adhesive which, when removed, will leave small squares behind to indicate tampering. These stickers are required by law in all states as well as by Intoxilock policy. For connections to be made under the vehicle hood, going through the firewall may be necessary. When possible, route the wires through an existing grommet or bushing to help prevent water possibly entering the cabin and potentially causing damage. If it's necessary to drill a hole through the firewall, be mindful of the backstop to avoid damaging any vehicle components and seal the hole with silicone or a grommet or bushing. Making connections through the firewall is easiest with 2 installation technicians, one on each side. Make wiring under the hood appear as original to the vehicle as possible by covering wires with black electrical tape or split loom. This helps ensure the customer won't interfere with the Intoxilock system wiring. Make sure wires don't interfere with any belts or fans and don't rest on anything that becomes hot when the vehicle is in operation. As you identify each wire, test to ensure proper connections are made and no vehicle components are damaged. When routing the wires from the Intoxilock relay, ensure the wires won't be easily kicked or disturbed by the passenger's feet or interfere with operation of the gas or brake pedals. Also make sure the wires cannot become tangled in the steering knuckle or interfere with any switches. A diode harness is provided if single wire output for direct hookup for the horns and lights is not possible. The diode harness helps ensure there will be no electrical backfeed. This process is similar for Intoxilock's legacy device and eLERT device. Our latest device, the EZ eLERT, follows a somewhat different wiring protocol. The eLERT device has 2 models of advanced relay, Cloud, black, or Columbus, gray. This advanced relay comes pre-programmed to meet the driver's state's requirements. For ease of installation, the first step for this device, prior to making wire connections, is to mount the camera and antenna. To see how to mount the camera and antenna, refer to that video, then return to this one. Once the camera and GPS are mounted, locate and test the connections on the vehicle. For the eLERT device, there are up to 9 wires to connect. Most installations will require only 5 connections. These are found in Section 2 of Chapter 7 in your Service Center manual. The connections are the same whether using the Cloud or Columbus relay. These connections are starter input and output wires, pins 5 and 6, brown and white respectively. Pin 5, the brown input wire, connects to the key side. Power will come into the relay on this wire. Pin 6, the white output wire, connects to the starter side. Power will come through the relay and start the vehicle through this wire only when a passing sample is provided. 12-volt constant power input wire. Pin 7, red. When checking for 12-volt constant, ensure the wire tests at 12-volt with the key on or off. 12-volt switched ignition. Pin 11, green. Hook up to the ignition, not accessory. Accessory will drop out voltage. This will test as 12 volts when the key is in the run position and during cranking of the vehicle. This can usually be found at the ignition switch coming down the column or at the BCM. Ground wire. Pin 12, black. Connect the black ground wire to paint-free, rust-free chassis metal. The Intoxilock system comes with a self-tapping screw and eyelet to be connected to the vehicle. Horn output and light flasher output. Only connect if required in your state. This information should be contained in the work order. If you are unsure whether the horn or light connections are required, contact Intoxilock Technical Support at 877-327-9130. Pins 1 and 2, blue and orange respectively. For more information on these connections, see our video on light and horn connections. In most instances, you can ignore the gray-orange wire, the gray-white wire, and the pink wires. Ensure tamper stickers are placed over all connections. Connect the accessory harness, ignition wiring harness, camera, and antenna to the Intoxilock relay. Plug the gray handheld cable into the accessory harness and tighten the screws on each side of the serial data cable. Once all connections are made, mount the relay and wiring harness under the driver's side dash or center console. Ensure it will not fall out or interfere with operation of the gas or brake pedals. Finally, test the device prior to reassembling the dash. For more on this process, see our video on routing the handheld cable and mounting the handheld device.